Hey, everybody. What live did I see? What live was I supposed to see? Welcome to True Crime Tuesday with your host, me, Feminine and Fierce. Hit that like button. Hey. Right? I was like, damn, it's Tuesday. Hey. It's freezing in South Carolina. It's 30 degrees. Yes, everybody go hit that thumbs up. Thank you. Drink a bar right before picking up your. Wait. No, I didn't see it. Wait. Hold up, swole up. Wait, I missed it. Okay, Carrie, thank you so much. Right before picking up your children, both you and your partner. Oh, I missed something. I missed. Hold on. People be coming in quick, right? Right? Oh, 3 degrees is it just started, like, you could see a little bit like a snow flurry, like here or there outside. So people were like my friend, friends of ours, like family friends and friends of ours, and they were texting like it's snowing. So we went outside and we're like, it ain't freaking snowing. Like, and my youngest son, he's like, am I looking at the wrong thing? Like, I mean, he's seen snow maybe like a handful of times in his life. But he's like, am I not looking at it right? Like, where am I missing this? I'm like, it's just like you can barely see it. I was like, it's just like one every now and then. But it is cold. It's 30 degrees. Oh my goodness. I saw Pensacola was covered. I was looking at the Earth, what is it, map Earth or Earth map or something like that. And it was like snowing so hard in Pensacola, Florida. I said, what the hell is going on? What is going on? I'm like, why are we getting this snow? I mean, people said that it was snowing like near the Gulf of Mexico. I'm like, what? But I figured it out. Where I need to go, apparently, is Australia. Apparently in Australia, air conditioner blasting and ready. Apparently, hey Megan, apparently Australia is hot year round. So, which Australia's always been on my bucket list, but now it's like, okay, so do I need to move there? The snow is dang near gone in certain parts of Houston. Yeah, well, I don't think it will. You live in the city. Hey Jen, it's snowing in Florida. It's not snowing here. Like, you could see, like, when we went out there, you could see like a little, like I said, it was like a snow flurry, like literally like one every minute or something. I mean, it was not like snowing or anything. Um, Gulf of America. Oh shit. You freezing? Yes, girl. It's cold. It's 30 degrees here. I'm telling you. Global warming is a bitch. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So you guys know on Tuesdays we do true crime. So thanks for coming to the true crime night. I almost forgot that it was Tuesday. So I was like, oh shit. I'm like, it's Tuesday, but there are so many cases that I want to cover with you guys. I mean, so many. Australia has too many bugs. Oh, and creature. Oh, okay. Well, see, I'm gonna have to reconsider. Did you? I did see your text. I was already live though, but I was gonna text you back. I did see your text, and I'm excited. I can't wait. It's definitely gonna be a fun night for sure. I can't wait. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get it. But if I missed something, I obviously missed something. So, and the malarkey will follow after at some point, but it seems like I might have missed something. So, um, Crystal, I think it was Crystal that said that. Crystal, if you'll text me what I missed, I'd greatly appreciate it. Because somebody did text me and was like, you got to go live tonight because we need your opinion, or we need to hear what you have to say about something. But I didn't get to hear all of it. I mean, I didn't get to read it all. Oh, you have to go to live tonight. We have to go over your thoughts on the video of the so-called snow bunny today. Oh God, it's my fault. Australia has. Oh, I see. I'm done. Well, that's all I needed to hear. I still want to go there. It's still on my bucket list. But yeah, I can't be living with no. Now kangaroos, I think would be cool. There was a lady that used to go live, and I can't remember her name, but she was like the kangaroo whisperer. And she would go live with and had their, would feed the kangaroos and stuff. It was awesome. We're definitely going, your eyes are pretty. But I got blamed for it. Mole cricket. Do y'all have mole crickets? I don't know what a mole cricket is. And it says it's 19, but feels like 20. Like, what the? That's funny. Usually it's lower. Not snow bunny. Oh, Jesus. Jumping spot. Yeah, no. No, but I got blamed for it because I got blamed for it, y'all. It's my fault. Hashtag it's Connie's fault. But yeah, I got blamed for it, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get into this because this true crime story truly is something I have been wanting to touch on when we talk about true crime. And that is a child, is a minor. Do Yetis live in snow? I don't know. Mole crickets eat your grass up. I don't know. I have no idea. Hey, New Zealand. I don't know what that is. Tibby mad at me. Tibby ain't mad at me. But if she is mad, she could join the crowd. You sent a request? For what? Hold on. Let me read that. Connie's fault, damn it. For the highlighter. Oh, Jesus. Yes, snow isn't. Can I send a request? Send a request for what, girl? Yeah, you can send a request. Oh, you mean for a true crime story? Yeah, hell yeah. If you guys have any requests, if you guys have any stories you'd like me to cover, definitely send them to me. Definitely. But this, I wanted to ask you guys, I want to hear y'all's opinion on how you about a minor. If they do such heinous acts and they do heinous crimes, do you agree that a minor teenager, child, whatever the case may be, should be tried as an adult? So think about that while we're watching this, and we're going to get right into it. Yes, Jen, you can definitely request a true crime. Definitely, because there's so many. I thought Yetis lived in the woods. It snows in the woods. So can't Yetis live in the woods and the snow? Isn't that a thing? I don't know. Let me know. We have jackalopes. That's like the mean kangaroos, right? They look like, to me, they're like mean kangaroos. All right. Yes. You think yes. No. Jack says no. Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, it depends. Okay, so keep that in mind. She says nope. Nope. Yes, but also depends. Yes, yes. Murder. Yes. FBI. Yes. Yes. Naziah Harris. Oh, that's a hard one. That's definitely a hard case with everything that's went on. Right, Jack? Like now you got to think about it. It's heavy snowing here now. Oh my God. If it starts heavy snowing here, I haven't seen snow, like I said, since I think it was 2010. So I haven't seen snow since snow since 2010. It depends on the crime they committed. Okay, so keep that in mind and let's get into it. Yetis are from the Himalayas. If they commit crimes against babies. Okay. So let's watch this and then we'll talk about it after. Welcome to True Crime Tuesdays with your host, Feminine and Fierce. Today we're talking about the murder of Colleen Ritzer, a beloved math teacher in Massachusetts. Take a listen.
Leaving her classroom. Colleen is seen leaving her classroom, then entering a faculty bathroom. Then you see Philip peeking out of the classroom, maybe thinking that he's not going to follow her. Then he comes back out, pulls up his hood, and you can see Philip following along and looking like he's putting on gloves, then walking into that same bathroom. Philip was in the bathroom attacking Colleen for 11 minutes. And then you see a female student open up the bathroom door and quickly turn around. She opened the door and apparently just saw a naked butt and kind of got embarrassed that she walked in on somebody using the bathroom. She didn't see Colleen though. So after that must have spooked Philip, because Philip immediately leaves after that. Then you can see Philip walking down the hallway holding something. He goes into the stairwell, still has his hood up, and he's now on the first floor. Here you can see his hand is completely red as he's walking through the hallway. Then the next time you can see Philip in the school parking lot. Philip is now in a white shirt. He passes the 10th floor back to Colleen's classroom. Next, he grabs all of Colleen's belongings and his stuff and walks down the hall. Before he is seen walking down the stairs, he now has a red sweatshirt kind of laid over his head to conceal his identity. And the next time he comes back up the stairs, he is wearing a full black ski mask. And he puts on his red sweatshirt before he runs down the hallway. Now, for some reason in between that, he took off the mask, and I'm not sure why. But next you can see him in the hallway, a student with a soccer ball. And the student's kind of like, hey, what are you doing? But Philip keeps running. Next, you can see Philip running down the stairs again. But this time when he returns, he has a green recycle bin, and he wheels it up to the 2nd floor and then into the bathroom. From there, he takes the red sweatshirt off, puts the mask back on, and wheels Colleen down the elevator and out of the building. Next, he is outside, wheeling the recycling bin toward the woods, kind of struggling with the weight of it because Colleen's inside. And after 7 minutes, he's back on camera, wheeling the recycle bin back, and you can tell now that the bin is way lighter than it was before. When Philip starts to walk closer to the camera, you can see that he's no longer wearing shoes as he walks back into the school. By the time he makes it to the stairs and back to the 2nd floor, you can see on Philip's jeans and can now clearly see that he is barefoot. He goes back down the hall, walking very slowly at first, and then rushes into a different bathroom where he changes into his soccer clothes, but is still not wearing shoes. Then he goes back to the bathroom where he attacked Colleen one more time before heading down the stairs and outside of the school like nothing ever happened. Diana, Philip's mom, contacted the Danvers Police Department. She contacted them to report that her son Philip had not come home from school after soccer practice. She said that she went to the school and the athletic facility, and he was not anywhere to be seen, but his teammates said that Philip had mysteriously vanished and actually completely missed practice at 4 p.m. The last time they saw him, they say he was running away from the soccer field in the complete opposite direction. So, after calling the police, Diana went down to the station and filed a missing persons report. While there, she gave the police Philip's phone number, hoping that they'd be able to ping him, to track him, to figure out where he had gone and what his location was. And luckily, they did, in fact, get a hit. The most recent ping location was earlier that afternoon at 4:28 p.m. It pinged near a movie theater called the Hollywood Hits Theaters. So Danvers police go to this movie theater to conduct a canvas search, where they learned that Philip did in fact buy a movie ticket, watched the movie, and then left. But after that, they weren't able to find any phone pings. They couldn't trace his whereabouts after that. They didn't know his location, and none of this made any sense to Diana, his mom. Once the news spread, Danvers High School principal Sue Ambrosevich sent out a mass email to all of the school staff around 9 p.m., letting everybody know that Philip was missing. And after this mass email went out, the principal received a phone call from a woman named Sarah. She was a math teacher at Danvers High School. And this math teacher, Sarah, told the principal that she received a call from another math teacher named Colleen's parents, Tom and Peggy. And Tom and Peggy told Sarah that their daughter, Colleen, also a math teacher, follow me here, guys, that she didn't come home from school that day. And they believed that she, too, was missing. So let's go back to Philip. Just a few hours after he was reported as missing, around 12:30 a.m., Topsfield police were called about a pedestrian walking alongside the highway, walking in the wrong direction. The police found this person, and the responding officer, Neil Hovey, realized that the individual walking was that missing teenager from Danvers, Philip Chisholm. So when officers first saw Philip, they noticed that he had a ski mask pulled down around his neck, which initially didn't seem all that weird because it was late October in Massachusetts and it was freezing outside. But he told Officer Hovey that he was coming from Tennessee, and he said that he was going nowhere. That is a direct quote. He also said he didn't have an address and that in his backpack he had a bunch of survival gear. So this officer did a very quick pat down on Philip, just for safety reasons, and he discovered that there was a rock in one of his pockets and also a credit card. The credit card had a woman's name on it, Colleen Ritzer. But the name didn't mean anything to the officer at the time because no reports had been put out about Colleen as missing and nobody had connected those dots yet. Philip said that he got the credit cards at a Stop and Shop convenience store. But this officer saw this underage kid, a situation that wasn't really feeling right, so he put him in the back of the police cruiser so that he could warm up, and then he took him to the police station so they could figure out what the heck was going on. While they were at the police station, the officers at the station made a very disturbing discovery when they asked Philip about the backpack that he was carrying with him with that survivalist gear. An officer asked him, "Is there anything in here that can hurt me?" And Philip responded, "Yes." Inside the backpack, he found a blood cutter. So he asked, "Where did the blood come from that's on this?" And he said, "The girl." And then the officer asked, "Where's the girl?" And Philip said, "In the woods." After Colleen's parents, the principal, and a few others had gone to the school earlier that evening to look for Colleen, another teacher had come to help. This was another math teacher. It's like this band of bandits with math teachers here. And his name's Todd Buttersworth. And while searching for Colleen, Todd found a school bag wedged in between boulders at the edge of the woods near the school. So Todd went further into the woods, but immediately stopped in his tracks when he stumbled upon a pair of white, bloody gloves. And he then immediately notified the police, basically raising his hand and saying, "I found something." Officer Stephanie Wenenberger was the first cop on the scene to help in this search for Colleen. While inside the school, she searched in the bathrooms next to Colleen's classroom, but noticed that it was very recently cleaned and also smelled like disinfectant. However, around the waist level of the wall was a reddish handprint with streaks. So this officer, once notified of the school bag that the math teacher Todd had found, began searching in the woods next to where the bag was found, where she found paper, shreds of clothing, 2 blue and white Under Armour gloves covered in blood, and other evidence kind of scattered about. Now, this was extremely alarming, and officers now realized the gravity of the situation. Officer Ellington and his cadaver dog Falco were called in to help investigate further. Falco pulled Officer Ellington into the woods and then drew him to an area where he saw a gray, soaked sneaker. And then Falco went even higher up the hill and dove into a gully where there was a large green recycling bin lying on its side. So officers blocked off a 6 by 10 square foot area of the woods, which contained blood, leaves, sticks, and it almost looked like a gravesite. And as police searched further, one of the officers at the scene pointed out a human toe with pink toenail polish on it, poking out from underneath the leaves. The officers continued to process what was now obviously an official crime scene, and they began to uncover a body under those leaves, which was identified as Colleen. Colleen was found lying on her back, covered in leaves in a way that was so obvious that whoever did this intended to conceal her body. Her throat was slit, her shirt was lifted above her breasts, and her bra was pulled down below, leaving them exposed. She was also naked from the waist down. There were red and brown bloodstains on her face and her torso, and her legs were spread apart and slightly bent in a sexually staged manner. There was also a 3-foot long and 1 inch in diameter tree branch that was inserted inside her. Later, the medical examiner collected male fluid that was inside Colleen and found that she was stabbed at least 10 times in the neck. So either completely unbeknownst to Philip or he just didn't care, the school had recently installed 140 surveillance cameras throughout their entire campus. So everything was about to blow up in Philip's face. Danvers police reviewed the security footage from the high school CCTVs the very next day, and the police created a minute-by-minute account of everything that happened that afternoon. So immediately after this horrific murder and assault, Philip used Colleen's credit cards, and he used them to buy a cheeseburger at Wendy's and then go to that theater and watch a Woody Allen movie before the police found him that night after midnight. So Philip was ultimately charged with 2 counts of RAPE, armed robbery, and first-degree murder, and he was charged as an adult at just 14 years old. So while awaiting trial, Apparently, officers were investigating the validity of a very disturbing tip and lead that they received, which, are you ready for this? Officers said that they were following up on a lead that this soccer star, this 14-year-old kid, now 15, who's accused of brutally murdering this beloved teacher, Colleen, that he got a twisted thrill from setting pet cats on fire. So, first of all, if this is true, what the heck is wrong with this guy? But also, does this show a clear pattern of escalation? Prosecutors for Philip's trial asked for more strict security after he allegedly also attacked a female youth worker that month. Court papers reveal that Philip, who was now at the time 15 years old, had slipped away from his caregivers, crept along a common hallway, crouched down out of view, then followed this female youth worker to a locker room, choked her, and beat her around the head and face, all well armed with a pencil. Other workers came to the woman's aid when she was screaming, and they restrained him, luckily. Court documents also said that he appeared to be psychotic and was out of touch with reality, yelling, screaming incoherently, foaming out at the mouth like a rabid dog while being restrained by staff. So after that, he was committed to a mental hospital for 30 days of evaluation and treatment. Leading up to the trial, Assistant DA Kate McDougal said that nothing during the investigation had pointed to a mental health issue. But Philip's lawyer, Denise Reagan, said that she would raise the issue of mental competency if and when she felt it was appropriate, which, whatever that means. And Philip's trial was absolutely bat crazy. And it revealed even more disturbing details, as if that's even physically possible at this point. Once the trial started, the prosecution did not play. They came in hot, and let me just tell you, Kate McDougal was like ready to drag Philip. She came out of the gate hot, and honestly, I'm here for it. So, in the prosecutor's opening statements, she said that Philip arrived at school, that he had a blue sweatshirt with a hood, gloves, a mask, and he wasn't crazy when he killed Colleen, that this was calculated. He was focused and unwavering from his horrible plan to take what he wanted. And as a quote, she says, he had a goal, a terrible, terrible purpose, and he played it out in the woods, and he didn't care what came after that. They also claimed that Colleen was incapacitated, but not dead when she got into the woods, meaning that she was still alive as he was wheeling her out of that school in the green recycling bin. They say that's where he carved those wounds and finished his sexual attack on her. His defense said that while he was attacking Colleen, he was not a kind, smart 14-year-old boy. He was responding to those terrible commands that were hallucinations in his head, and that he did not choose to do this. So now the question is, was Philip in the throes of psychosis and couldn't help but listen to these alleged voices in his head? Or is he a malicious, manipulative, dangerous little prick who is faking a mental illness now because he got caught? That was going to be up to the 12 people on the jury who have no medical education, because that makes perfect sense, right? Let them decide. During the course of the entire trial, jurors saw the chilling videos of Philip following Colleen into the bathroom. The prosecutor, nearly yelling at times, walked them through Philip's movements, checking his pocket, putting his hoodie on, putting on the gloves, opening the bathroom door, and then wheeling the recycle bin out. And she said, and I quote, "But all of those images, while they show deliberate premeditation, don't matter as much as one. The only still in this case is the image of Colleen in the woods, the image that the defendant painted of Colleen, stripped, battered, brutalized, and violated." The defense was a conversation and confession where he told the police about the girl and the woods thrown out. But fortunately, the case was so strong from that video and the physical evidence. And I mean, it's just unreal. Like, thank goodness for all of those video cameras. So the verdict finally comes in, and Philip was found guilty of murder, rape, and robbery, and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after serving 40 years. He's currently at a supermax prison in Lancaster, Massachusetts, and Colleen's family was extremely disappointed in this because they wanted Philip to have life in prison without the possibility of parole. Throughout the trial, Philip also didn't appear to show an ounce of remorse and looked completely just devoid of all emotion completely, which, combined with this heinous crime, suggests to me that he's seriously a psychopath. Like, I get it, I'm not a doctor, and that's not a diagnosis, it's just my opinion, but like, to be that cold, that callous, there's something else going on. And you're like lighting cats on fire. Bro, the writing's on the wall. After Phillip's conviction, Colleen's family filed a wrongful death suit naming the town of Danvers, the school district, and the school's cleaning company for cleaning up potential evidence. They were not after money for themselves, but they wanted any proceeds to benefit school safety programs and a charity in Colleen's name. Ultimately, the lawsuit asked for answers, like why nobody was monitoring those surveillance cameras in real time, why Phillip was just allowed to roam the school visibly showing, which are all pretty fair points, if I'm going to be honest. And the lawsuit was finally settled in August of 2022 for an undisclosed amount. Colleen is seen leaving her.
Okay. So this was a vigil that they held for her. Now, he did go on to do more things. He seems like she said,
in a convenience store just minutes after police say he killed his high school teacher, Colleen Ritzer. The prosecution rests following some of the most compelling testimony of the trial so far. It was from Colleen's friend and fellow teacher, who spoke with her just moments before she was murdered. Christina Hager has the story.
Colleen Ritzer's friend and fellow math teacher wiped her eyes as she watched surveillance of Ritzer's last moments alive. Dressed as twins for a special buddy day at Danvers High, Sarah Gianquinta had peeked in on Ritzer's classroom after school. Inside, she saw the teenager now standing trial in Ritzer's murder. Phillip Chisholm was only 14 then.
She said, I don't know why he's here.
Prosecutors say he was waiting to follow her, stalk, rape, and kill her. The prosecution's final witness, the pathologist who performed her autopsy, showing a diagram of 16 knife wounds and signs of choking. It set off a debate about whether Ritzer may have been clinging to life. When she was in the recycling barrel, Chisholm is seen on surveillance wheeling from the school bathroom to the woods.
How did he do? Nobody saw anything.
After prosecutors rested their case, the first mention of a motive.
And the Commonwealth's suggestion is that this was a sexually motivated homicide.
Starting tomorrow, defense attorneys plan to go back decades, focusing not only on Phillip Chisholm's young life, but also his relatives to show a history of mental illness, the basis of their insanity defense. At Salem Superior Court, Christina Hager, WBC News.
Yeah.
JC, graphic testimony describing the moment Colleen Ritzer's body was found buried beneath a pile of leaves and debris.
Right, Lily.
We also heard from a former student who was one of the
Listen to this shit.
to see the young math teacher alive.
Probably before then listening.
One of the last things Colleen Ritzer ever heard was a glowing compliment from one of her freshman students. I was just telling her how she was such a nice person, said the now 16-year-old junior, who also told jurors today that she was with her 24-year-old math teacher after school along with Phillip Chisholm, whom she testified looked angry while talking with Ritzer. Honestly, he didn't seem really happy. He didn't seem like he wanted to be here. He didn't seem like he was in a good mood. Minutes later, prosecutors say Chisholm followed his teacher into a bathroom where he raped, strangled, and slashed her throat with a box cutter. He then put her body into this recycling bin and pushed it into the woods behind Danvers High School. He was struggling with it, testified another student who witnessed Chisholm with the container. I saw him a good 5 minutes in the woods. Ritzer's body was found hours later, along with these blood-soaked jeans and socks and bloody gloves, all of which prosecutors say Chisholm was wearing. And this note folded neatly near her body, which read, "I hate you all." Jurors also heard the testimony of the school custodian, who, because of a language barrier, mistakenly cleaned up the bloody bathroom, which he described as a slaughterhouse. Only small amounts of blood were left behind, along with a piece of Colleen Ritzer's jewelry found in the floor cleaner, said the witness. As he's cleaning this, he pulled out an earring, a diamond stud earring.
Phillip Chisholm's attorneys maintain that their client, who was 14 at the time of the murder, was suffering. Testimony resumes tomorrow as we continue to hear from that former student of Colleen Ritzer's. Live tonight in Salem, I'm Reed Lamberty, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, so not only did all of this happen, right? But then after all of this, you heard the first video that we watched, you heard them talking about him attacking another person. Now, there are new updates in the case because he is, of course, trying to get out sooner. And because he was so young, and they're, the mental illness is what they're claiming and all of this stuff, he could actually be released sooner than what people originally thought. Let me see if I can on this one. They just did this update in 2024 because he was sentenced he was sentenced to life in prison with possibility of parole, and that was in October 2013. But let's see. Looks like he may, depending on, of course, how it goes for him. Let's see here. But that's why I was asking you in the beginning, do you think that he should be, he was 14 years old when this happened. Now, his family had just moved from Tennessee to Massachusetts. I did not find a clear reasoning why they moved Tennessee to Massachusetts, but they had just moved. He had just started this new school, Danvers, and he was a star athlete. He played, there goes the goat. He played soccer and was a star athlete. He was involved, hey, Outlaw Vita. He was involved in sports. I just feel like if there was that history of him allegedly doing that to cats, there's no way, in my opinion, that his parents, whether it was mom, dad, just dad, whatever. I know his mom is who called in the missing persons. I'm not sure about the dad. But there's to me, there's no way they did not need. Oh, me too, Lita. Just wait. I thought I added it to the end of the video, but of course I deleted CapCut. So if I wouldn't have deleted the app, I could still use it. So I'm still trying to find a good one that I like. But they didn't say, he had just got there. So I'm wondering if, because he was new to the school, he did not know that they had just put those cameras in, or did he know that those cameras were there and he just didn't care? Because if you notice, when he first walks out of the classroom, he goes back and then puts his hood up. So to me, that says that he probably did know the cameras were there, but he had to leave obviously he left the shoes, his bloodied shoes in there. He had his hand look like his hand legit looked like it was painted red. It looked like it was painted red, and he had it all over his jeans. He's running through the school barefoot. Now, this was after school. This was after the last period, and the teacher even told her, her colleague, I don't even know why he's here. So it was clearly a planned thing from him, in my opinion. He knew what he was doing. He went there with the intention to do what he was doing. And it's wild to me, especially I feel like when you have kids, I can't imagine. Right. Probably didn't care that they had cameras. I can't imagine one of my kids, at 14 doing something like this. And the fact that he went to the gas station, used her credit cards, went to a freaking movie, bought a cheeseburger at Wendy's. In my opinion, he had no remorse. Nothing. He just did this. You did the same thing. Yeah, I can't get either one back. So I'm like, why did I do that? I can't stand it. I can't believe I did that. But yeah, so now I can't get them back. So, okay, here it is. Here, let's see. Okay, here we go. Because I want you guys to see this update here. But they say, not only did he take her life, you got to think of it this way. She was only 24 years old. She was only 10 years older than Philip himself. She connected with her students on a way that most teachers can't connect with them. Not only did you take her from the world and you ended, her life so early on, but think of all the think about all the students that would have been able to have her during her career, students that she could have made such a difference in their lives that now will not have that chance because of his senseless act. And then the fact that he put her in that position, he left her there like that, he put the tree branch where he put it. I mean, all of it. It does seem like the motive was purely a sexual thing. Because now they did say that I guess that they had I guess something that they had some kind of talk, and maybe may have felt some type of way about that, but it wasn't like some like huge event that would have, well, nothing constitutes what he did, but there was nothing like, there wasn't a big blow up or anything like that. But the fact that she told the teacher, I don't know what the other teacher, her colleague, I don't know why he's here. And then she goes to the bathroom. He goes in there with her, and a female student, actually went into the bathroom. And when it was a faculty bathroom, okay, but this female student went in, and when she went in, I guess she walked into the stall, and all she saw was like a half-clothed person, and she got embarrassed and turned around and left because she thought she had, walked in on somebody like half naked or something, and she left. Can you imagine the guilt that she feels that she just walked out and got embarrassed and didn't and my thing is how did no one hear anything? I mean, it wasn't that late. You could see that there was a person clearly near him when he had the recycling bin, and walking a dog or something. I was like, what is going on? And like the family said, why wasn't anybody watching in the area of, this? Nobody saw this kid with all this on him, and you could clearly see that he had, I mean, it was all over his pants. He had originally walked to the bathroom behind her, and he had put on the gloves. You could watch him put the gloves on, and he was obviously thinking, like in the movies, I'm going to put gloves on, I'm going to do this. But I don't think, especially at 14, I don't know that you would have the mental capacity to even understand bathroom, it's going to get on you. There's no way around it, especially someone with a wound, the 17 wounds like she had. No. Um, it's just and that's why I say, that's why I pose the question, is there a difference? If they're a minor, do you feel there's like an age cutoff, or do you think that regardless whether he was 14 or whether he was 8, you know what I mean? Regardless, because of the crime, it doesn't matter that he's a child. Because at 14, he's a teenager, but he still is a child, in my eyes, especially. But do you feel there's like a certain age they should do? Do you think it depends on the crime? You don't have sound? You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Hold on. Let me wait a second. Welcome, Lindsay. Hey. Yeah, just crazy no one hurt. She didn't make a sound. She didn't do any, you know what I mean? Like, how can you not make a sound? Why does this close this? Hello. All right. Can y'all hear me? Severity of the crime. Okay, so you can hear me. I was like, wait, no sound? Don't do me that way. Don't troll me. Are you trolling me?
Frustrated after their daughter's killer asked the state's highest court to vacate his conviction. After their daughter's killer asked the state's highest his convictions. Philip was 14 when he raped, robbed, murdered math teacher Colleen Ritzer in a Danvers high school bathroom. His lawyers appear appeared before the Supreme Judicial Court today in a new conviction and order a new trial, arguing his sentence.
Okay, hang on one second. Sorry, I was trying to read y'all's message, y'all's flag. Okay. There we go. Let me make sure I'm back here. All right. We good? We good? Okay. I think we're good now. Now we hear you. Okay. We good now. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Just not the video. Okay. I got you. Oh, thank you, little birdie. We need a true podcast. Oh, that would be fun. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second and I'll upload this. I mean, I'll share it. Okay. Here we go. I just wanted to make sure you could hear me. You hear me now? Okay, good. So let's do this. All right. All right. So he is wanting them. This is 2013. But this update, he now wants them to he is, I believe, 25 at this. He was 14 when the crime happened. What is it doing? Okay. Here we go. Of course, I'm just going to mute it through the commercial. And then we'll get back to it. Make sure I'm plugged in over here. Oh my goodness, how long is the freaking commercial? I mean, Jesus. Okay. Of course, I should have
Their daughter's killer asked the state's highest court to vacate his convictions. Colleen Ritzer is frustrated after their daughter's killer asked the state's highest court to vacate his convictions. Philip Chisholm was 14 when he raped, robbed, and murdered math teacher Colleen Ritzer in a Danvers high school bathroom. His lawyers appeared before the Supreme Judicial Court today in a new effort to overturn his conviction and order a new trial, arguing his sentence amounts to life without parole. Chisholm, now 25, is not eligible until he's 54, but if his conviction is vacated, he would be eligible at 39. Now, in a statement, the Ritzer family said in part, "For more than a decade, we have fought tirelessly for justice for Colleen, but there can never truly be justice for the life that was stolen from us. We should not have to continue enduring this painful process," end quote. David?
All right.
So he is now trying to basically
Scaling back.
undo what? Hold on. So he's basically trying to undo what they have done. He's trying to get out. I have seen it, Ashley. I have seen it. I have. That's a terrible case. Sometimes evil consumes our youth too. I'm not Christian. I've said it before, so I'm not a Bible thumper, but there absolutely is a higher power and evil comes in different forms. 26 years old today. Oh, wow. I would like to know if he acted crazy all this time in prison. She's not going to think someone's, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Keep him in jail. Yes, right. So he could actually be up for parole. I mean, He'd be in his 30s. Yeah, he'd be in his 30s. So he's like 26 today. Is it really his birthday? Isn't that if it's really his birthday, that's crazy that this I would do this story on his birthday. I didn't know that. Um, Same, Lita, same. um, but let me show you this one. Um, okay, here we go. So in 2014, he was actually charged in a second case. Um, let's see here. So the fact that it's to me that holds more weight also. Not that Colleen and what happened to her doesn't. But I feel like you have the abuse of animals. Then you have, this terrible heinous thing that happened that he clearly planned, executed, was very calculating on how he did it. He wasn't even supposed to be he wasn't even supposed to be in her classroom when this happened. Right, Tina. Exactly. I knew I loved you for a reason. Right. It is sad, Melissa. It is. And the judicial system, due process, it does happen a lot where these inmates will continue appealing their cases or doing whatever they whatever they can do in the eyes of the law and the rights as a citizen of the United States. They can do, they can appeal, they can take it to higher courts, they can do all of these things. And it almost, well, I feel it does re victimize these people. Especially, her parents, she's still at 24, lived at home with her younger brother and sister. They, in all accounts to them, and I know she was 24, but in all accounts to her parents, she still had not moved out of the family home. She had not been married. She had no kid. I mean, she had just started her life. And now here it is, he in 2024, he now wants to vacate his sentencing. He wants to go through this again. We're now 11 years after this happened to her. 2024 was 11 years later, and he's wanting to basically be out of prison before he's 40 from doing this, which when you look at it and you think, well, he was 14 when it happened. So if he gets out when he's 39, if he gets out when he's 39, he served, more than half his life in prison. But does that matter? You know what I mean? Because I know that a grown adult, in most states, especially, capital red rum, most of them are going to spend the rest of their lives in prison. Most of them are not going to get out. Now, there are certain states where you can do these things and you can get out in like 30 years. It just depends what the state law is. But most people that do something like this spend the rest of their life in jail. There is no getting out. Of course you can appeal your case and, you can go through the process, but most times it's not going to happen that they get out. So the fact that it is young, 14 is young. It is young. But the level of crime that he committed, this isn't like, it wasn't even manslaughter. This was planned out, calculated, executed, and had literally went to Wendy's, went to the gas station, Wendy's, went to the movie theater, watched a Woody Allen movie, which I found that to be, I guess, because maybe it was like an older, maybe the movie theater, because they said it was like Hollywood hits. So I'm thinking maybe it was like a movie theater that played older video, movies or whatever. But I thought that was, Woody Allen is a 14-year-old. I was like, wait, what? It makes me think the mom, you have such a graceful way to make it look more clear. I absolutely think at 14, this yes charge as an adult, but what if it's 8 or 10-year-old? Right, Patricia, and that's why I'm wondering, is it strictly on the case? Do we say, well, if he or she is a teenager, like, where do we draw the line? Because you see kids that are 8, 9 years old that are doing crimes like they're not exactly, I mean, I don't know if there's one that mirrors this or not, but you do see, younger kids committing crimes like this and think, wow, can you imagine 8 or 9 years old? But it does happen. So that's why that was one of the questions I definitely wanted to ask you. I mean, I think, after seeing the evidence and reading through all of the things in this case, obviously, even at 14, in my opinion, he deserves to be, I don't think he should ever get out. Um, but that's just my opinion. And I know people don't think the same as me, but I do think that some people can change. But there are some things that if it's in you, especially when it's violence. And I think when that is ingrained into you through whatever way, whether it's nurture or nature, regardless, I think that there are some things that you just can't undo. You just can't. Once you've went so far, I just feel like some things there's no coming back. But again, that's my thing. And I know some people do not agree with that. And some people think that everybody can be rehabilitated and that it happens. But I have learned that past history, past records, there's a reason for that. It's because in most instances, you can predict future behavior from past history or from past behaviors and actions. Um, mm, it's a hard one though. When it's, when you think of the age and how young and, okay. Let's see here. I want you guys to watch this one. Okay. Because he was actually, and see, this is another thing. Why does he even, which he's young, he's 25 or whatever. Some people can't get help. Like you say, it's just their care. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just ingrained in them. Annette says, I feel you. Yeah. He was severely abused as a child, but because of the sexual nature, he should have had an adult sentence with mental health. Yes, they talked about the family in regards to having mental health and things like that. But he was a star soccer player. He did good in school. He had his mother. They had just moved from Tennessee to Massachusetts. There wasn't, at least he didn't come out and say that there was this, years of child abuse or years of SA abuse, any of that in his childhood, that unless he's just not saying it. But I feel like at this point, if you did something like that and there was history there, I feel like it would have been presented in trial. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't want to speak about it. I'm not sure on that. But I feel like if that was the case, it would have came out. At least if not then, by now, he's been in prison all these years. Oh, don't do this. Didn't do it. Hold on. Because this is the one where they talk about where he got charged in a second case, and he was 15 at this time. Let me, oh, it's snowing. It's snowing here. It's snowing.
Connected.
It's snowing, guys. It's snowing in South Carolina. Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry, y'all. Just wanted to get this loaded, and for some reason, it's not letting me play it. Dang, I don't know why it won't let it play. okay. I'm over all of the snow. You want it? You can have it. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I know they were putting it on me last night, Tiffany. They were wanting me to have it. I was mad about it too. They was in here talking about, you about to get snow. You're gonna get snow. I said, stop it. Don't tell me that. I don't know why this one won't play. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So Philip Chisholm, a 15-year-old Massachusetts boy accused of, obviously we know what he was accused of, was arraigned Wednesday. This is July 24th, 2014. So this was a year later, right? He did this to the teacher in 2013. In 2014, he was arraigned for attempted red rum charges stemming from a separate attack on a female youth services clinician. Prosecutors laid out a narrative of what they said was the defendant's intent to murder a female employee last month on the Dorchester. Now, he's already locked up, you guys. He's locked up. He's already in jail. It's snowing in Merle's Inlet. He's already in jail, okay? He's in the Dorchester, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Dorchester Department of Youth Services facility. So he's already locked up. Where Chisholm is being held pending his trial. So he was being held there, right? Because he was only 14. A judge set bail at $250,000 and ordered him not to have contact with the witnesses, including the victim. He was supposed to be appearing in court, and the plea was entered, and it was automatic, not a youthful offender. Okay. So he got charged in a second attempt on a female while being locked up. So why now, after 11 years, 10 years after the second case, are you now even worried? I mean, and I get it. It's due process. He's allowed to do this. He's allowed to appeal. He's allowed to do these things. But it's like, what? Why would you ever think to let him out? Why? He needs to stay there. The fact that he did this horrible thing, took his teacher, someone that did nothing to him. I mean, nothing, like I said, nothing constitutes this. I mean, except self-defense. I mean, like, it's either you or them, that kind of thing. Like, I do think there is a self-defense law. I think that's there because there are cases like that. But you've done this horrible thing. Can you all hear me? He's done this I think my comment stopped. But he's done this horrible thing, and he gets charged while he's already locked up. And now he wants to get out. How does that even happen? How does that even work? I don't get that at all. You don't hear me? Okay. He's done this okay. So let's see here. But he's done this horrible thing. Okay. And he gets charged while he's already. Okay. And they did declare him competent, obviously, to, they found him competent, that's why he got it. My daughter just messaged me. Okay, good. You hear me good. My daughter's like, do you see this snow? I didn't see your comment, Heather. I didn't. What did Heather say? Yeah, you have to show remorse, right? And the fact that he did this after already being in there. Let's see what Heather said. I believe the kids who do this show no remorse because remorse and sorry come with age and maturity. See, I don't know about that one. I feel like even as a kid, I feel like if I did something wrong, I felt that. You know what I mean? And I never did anything this bad. But I feel like even when I did something, I don't see your comment, Heather. I'm sorry. I just went all the way back. But I feel like, I don't know. But again, I know a lot of people have different opinions on this, right? Um, I know people, have different opinions, but I don't know. I feel like depending on the age, and that's why I say like, it did take some time. It did. It took a lot of time. And I feel like, even my children, how about this? Even my dog, even my dog shows remorse. Even my dog shows remorse. If my dog gets into something, let's take it to that level. If my dog gets into something and they know they're not supposed to get into it, and I look at Sadie and say, "What are you doing? Like you're not supposed to." Sadie immediately knows as an animal that she's not supposed to do that. So I feel like I, I feel like that's a tough one because I think that especially if you're a child, if the right and wrong, and some are not taught right and wrong, some are taught wrong things. But this kid in particular, in this case, if we're speaking about this case, this kid knew right from wrong. This kid was competent. He knew right from wrong. He was very aware of what he was doing, in my opinion. What Jack say? Right, Jack? They don't have feelings. Sociopaths are right. And that's what I'm saying. So see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like once you get to that level to where you are a sociopath, a psychopath, you don't feel that. You don't feel that at 8 years old. You don't feel that at 14 years old, and you're not going to feel that at 50 years old. There are just some things, in my opinion, that you will not change. That there are things that you cannot rehabilitate. And I know that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that one. But I'm sorry, especially if you are labeled sociopath, psychopath, that's just my opinion and how I feel. I just think no matter, especially committing these heinous crimes, like I said, he was already locked up and attacked a second female. That to me shows obvious escalation, from the animals. And he had no remorse. He had nothing. At 14, when you did something wrong. And especially something like this. But I'm interested to see what happens in his case and if he gets out, because my thing is, okay, let's say that he did just the one case, and he did just the case with Colleen, and that was it. They're saying he'd be eligible for parole after 40 years. That was his original sentence. It was basically he'd be out in 40 years. So he would have been 54 when he got out. He then gets locked up in basically like a juvenile prison, then tries it again. So right there, regardless of how you feel, I feel like right there, if you thought he should get out at 54 after the first one, and then he tried it again, and the only reason that he wasn't successful is because people hurt her. For whatever reason, people did not hear Colleen. And I don't know what happened in that school. I don't know how these things, because it wasn't like they were at school on the weekend or at 9:00 at night. School had just let out. It had not been long after. The school let out. Colleen has the conversation with her colleague, and she says, I don't even know why he's here. There was a female student that was meeting with her after school, and she was in the room with Philip and the teacher because she was supposed to be there. And the girl that was there was like, he was, he was not happy to be there. He was not, he didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Well, he wasn't even supposed to be there. So I just don't understand how no one saw it. No one saw anything, didn't hear anything, nothing. It just blows my mind because one student even was like, he ran past one student. One student was like, basically like threw his arms up, like, what are you doing? He had no shoes on. He was covered in red, if you know what I mean. His hand looked like it was painted. It had so much on it. I mean, he had this green recycle bin that he took up the stairs into the bathroom, did what he had to do, then he left. Then, not only that, but the custodian, they say, due to a language barrier, ended up cleaning up the crime scene with disinfectant and everything. That's how it got cleaned up. He didn't clean it up. The custodian cleaned it up. And the custodian is the one who found in the cleaner found her diamond earring. So you cleaned up the crime scene. Like, so not only did no one hear her, no one suspected him the whole time. I mean, he made several trips. If you watch the surveillance, he made several trips back and forth, up and down the stairs, out, in and out, different clothes. He had a ski mask on at one point, and no one said anything. No one saw anything. It escapes me. I can't imagine. And again, they had just put in all of those security cameras. I can tell you one bad day could land you in the situation, not excusing anything he did. I mean, it's just these cases, the mind, the mind behind it and the psychology of it, that is what pulls me in every time. I'm just like, wow, it baffles me. Let's see. Hold on one second. I was trying to show this one real quick. You're right, Melissa. Well, English was not his first language, and he testified on the stand, and he said that it was awful. I mean, you can imagine how much red stuff was everywhere. And clearly you could tell that wasn't from anything other than something. You know what I mean?
The prosecution rested on Monday afternoon in the Philip Chisholm trial. Chisholm is accused of killing Danvers High School math teacher Colleen Ritzer. The 24-year-old is seen in released surveillance videos. It's chilling footage of her walking out of the frame and Chisholm seemingly second-guessing himself in the proceeding to follow her into the bathroom. These are the last moments of her life.
I mean, how did no one see that? I just don't.
Prosecutors say
he literally, I mean, in and out, in and out. I mean, he did these trips. He had to go out to get the recycle bin. He had to bring it back in. He had to then take it out to the woods. And then you hear during the trial that there was a witness that saw him in the woods for, I think they said like up to 5 minutes. Not only that, he left a note in the woods that said, you saw it at the beginning of the first video that I played, where he left the note in the woods and it says, "I hate you all." So he's definitely disturbed. He had other things going on. I think a lot of people are sociopaths. 1 in 5 or something like that. True, Barbie. True. But that's why I added, if you're diagnosed as sociopath or psychopath, and then you do something like this or commit a heinous crime, I feel like that's just who you are. Not saying the diagnosis alone. I'm saying if you're diagnosed that way and you're committing these heinous crimes, I feel like once you get there, there's no going back. And again, that's just my personal opinion about it. But not the diagnosis alone. I'm saying once you have that diagnosis and coupled with now you're doing these things. My nieces knew the teacher and we're going to school there while this was happening. I'm from Massachusetts. It's very sad. It is very sad. And the school opened, for the, counselors after some time and, opened up and so the kids, oh, you're good. The person that just sent me a text, you're good. There's a lot, Lita. This whole case is definitely a rabbit hole for sure. I I was wanting because the mother actually, the mother spoke out, and I was trying to play that. I don't know but the mother of Philip spoke out. Philip. But the family was very upset about even the first sentencing. They thought 40 years just wasn't enough. Let's see if this will work. Oh my goodness. I don't know why it's not working. Like it's CNN.com or whatever. It's on there and it's not let me play it. Maybe this one will. Okay, so this is what the mom said. These are direct quotes. 14-year-old Philip Chisholm is who took Ritzer's life after school, then dumped her body in the woods behind the school. Miss Chisholm, which is his mother, would like you to know that her son was born in love and is dear to her, very dear, said the statement released by the defense attorney, Denise Reagan. She asked that you know that she cares for the world's hurt over this and greatly hopes for your prayers for the Ritzer family, the Danvers community, for her. And what? Wait. She asked that you know that she cares for the world's hurt over this and greatly hopes for your prayers for the Ritzer family, the Danvers community, for her son, and all those affected by this tragedy. They'd offered, at this point, they had offered no clue. They also would not say how this happened. I mean, this was back when, in 2013. It's terrible. So he had moved to Massachusetts from Tennessee. That's what he had told the cops, right? That he was coming from Tennessee and he was going, quote, nowhere. That was direct quote. And he had moved from Tennessee to Massachusetts before the start of the school year, and he was a top scorer on the school's junior varsity soccer team. A 14-year-old girl who had 2 classes with him said that he kept himself and wasn't very outgoing. If you didn't talk to him, he wouldn't try to talk to you. Another girl who spoke said that she was in Philip's math class with Colleen. She said that as far as she knows, there was nothing unusual about the relationship between Colleen and Philip. He was always quiet. He never talked to anyone. Both classmates said that the whole situation is upsetting. Clearly, there's something wrong with this boy. That's a direct quote. You think so, 2 T's? Well, there was allegedly a history of him lighting their pet cats. Pyro. So I don't know how she wouldn't have known that part. Right, Patricia. Can you imagine how the mom of the boy feels? Like, I'm mom of 3 and I don't know how I would feel or what to even think if my son did such a thing. I think of that all the time, Tanya. When I'm watching like true crime and watching things, I've been like binging I Am a Killer. I bet you his mom seen, oh, I'm sure, Jack. That's what I'm saying. The pets, the stuff with the pets, she would have, in my opinion, had to have known that happened. How does that happen to a pet? Now, they didn't say they were strays or anything like that. They said they were pets. So how does that happen to a pet and you as the mom don't know that? But I think about that all the time. I think about, because I watch, like, I've been like binging this I Am a Killer thing on Netflix. And some of the people that are on death row, they got sentenced to death row as a teenager. Some of these people have been incarcerated since they were 17 years old for crimes that they did as teens. And that's one reason that I wanted to talk about a crime, a case that had a teenager who did it, or a child, a minor who committed the crime, because I was watching, this Netflix thing, and I'm like, I wonder how people feel. Like, do you think someone at 16 years old makes a mistake in their life, a huge mistake, the biggest mistake they've ever made, that they will probably ever make? Well, obviously not him, because he obviously tried it again. But some of them, it may be the worst mistake they've ever made in their life. They may show remorse. I mean, not all of them are so cold and callous. So if you had this mistake or you committed a crime at 16, do people feel that you should have to stay in jail until you're 70, 80, whatever God or whoever allows, until your time's up? And then with corporal punishment, the death penalty, they sit on there for, some of them have been on death row for 20 years. It's like, why do we even have capital punishment at this point if we're not going to use it? If you believe in the death penalty, why are we not and I get due process, and I get that they're allowed, we obviously would have to wait until their appeals, they went through all of their appeals and they went through the entire due process. But why, once it's finished, are we not giving them execution dates? If that's what you believe, if you believe in capital punishment, I just don't understand why do we have it if we're not using it? That makes no sense. I think case by case too. Yes. I think case by case too. I think that's another thing that makes it very hard, because I can be one way on one case and feel one way, and then I hear another case and I'm like, well, dang, so it's hard. It's a hard one. You think it should all be case, and that's what it is. Everything goes to trial. Everything's case by case. Most things are not, especially, they want to hear. That's why we have trials. That's why people have the right to go to court and things like that, because it is case by case. It depends on the state. Not all states have that. Right, Rhonda? But I'm saying the states that do have capital punishment, why have it if you're not going to utilize it? Why not take it off the table if we're not going to use it? Why do we even have it at this point? I don't know. There's some people on death row that are like begging to be taken out. And then there's people that say, heck no, they should have to spend all of their time in there until they're gray and old and decrepit. And they should not get an easy way out. Some people feel like it's an easy way out. Well, I am glad it makes no sense, right, Rhonda? Because death is permanent. There are some innocent people on death row. There are innocent people in jail. 110,000%. There are innocent people in jail. There are people that went on death row innocent. And some people, there are cases where people have spent 30 years in prison, 40. Can you imagine spending 30 or 40 years in prison and you're innocent? And then like somebody's on their deathbed or something, and they're like, they finally confess, or they finally say like they've been in prison their whole life and it was really me, or like that stuff blows my mind. The laws are very different for juveniles. Everybody hit that like button, and I'm glad that you like this. Capital punishment is so conflicting for me. Right. My tribe used to toss women and children. Right. Yet I'm conflicted because our teachings tell us to love and not take it. There you go. There you go. I have Cherokee. I'm Native American. My mom's grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee Indian, or Native American in 2025, I should say. Innocent Files on Netflix. Oh, I have to watch it. There are very guilty people walking freely. There you go, Lita. There are people that are out here that have done way worse and never went to jail. Honestly, I think they should be subjected to whatever they did to their victims after a long prison sentence. So basically, an eye for an eye, but in a prolonged manner. Okay. Like the man on America's Got Talent? I must have missed your other one. I had a friend 30 years in jail and then got released. Oh no. That's awful. That's terrible. I just can't imagine. Jail is that like, I love that, Tanya. It definitely goes both ways. It does. Well, I'm glad that you guys were interested in this because this was a case I was interested in and everything we've been talking about. If you're just joining or you're watching this on the replay, #replay, make sure you come and join us every Tuesday for True Crime Tuesday. If you haven't signed up for the text alerts, all you have to do is text at FF Outlaws to 81010. You'll get a text anytime I post or go live. I'll send you a text so you'll know. Also, I will send a link when I go live, so you'll just be able to click it and you'll come right into the live. No worries. So if you want to do that, you can sign up. Appreciate you. Somebody just signed up. Appreciate you. But I will be back soon with the malarkey. So I hope I see you then. For those of you, listen to me doing the wrong tagline. Look into the case. Okay. You have to text me because I'll forget. I'm Native American, a Scorpio and a mom of 3. Oh my goodness, Tanya. I love that. So thanks you guys for joining me for True Crime Tuesday. Make sure you come back next Tuesday because we'll have another case and we'll have another dilemma to talk about, I'm sure, and how we all see it differently. And that's what I love about you guys, that we can come here and have great debates and talk about this and, just enjoy the true crime genre, A man on America's Got Talent was locked up for 50 years and was, Lita. I had forgot. Here I said 2022. I had forgot I had been doing it in 2021. I totally forgot about Instagram. I forgot that I was doing it over there. But I love you for that. Oh, damn messy. But I'll be back soon for the malarkey. Love you guys. Bye. Me too, Tina. Me too. See y'all soon.